Hallelujah and praise be, because I'm actually here. Clearly I'm not in the witchy cottage, but I was in the witchy cottage just a little while ago, and I recorded a video for I Found a Fox, and I rabbited on, don't you love that, for about 40 minutes, I think. And then I came into the house and I popped it in to have a look at it, to see if I could edit it or stick it on the YouTubes, and wouldn't you believe there was no sound. No sound whatsoever. So and it was because I was recording on the I was recording on the camera, and I just didn't have the mic set up properly. And the reason, this is a long preamble, but bear with me. The reason I was recording on the camera was because normally I record on my laptop, but my laptop finally bit the dust. And those of you who love kitties will love this story. So that's why I'm going to tell this little story to kick off. So I have a laptop computer that I do a lot of work on because I like to move around when I'm working, and I get very sore back from just sitting in one place. So, you know, I tend to sit on the couch and sit on the bed and go outside and blah, blah, blah. And my laptop was getting old in terms of laptops. It was about 7 years old. So it was pretty slow, and it had an E key that kept popping off, you know, and the E was kind of wrecked, and it was just really worn out. I knew I had to buy another one because you can't really run an online business, which is what I do. You know, I teach creative writing online. You can't really run an efficient online business with a friggin' abacus. But I am of that generation where I loathe having to replace things that I think are investments. You know, like, I don't think you should have to replace your washing machine or your fridge or your computer. You should be able to get them fixed. It's just ingrained in me, and I just feel so wasteful, you know. I really, really put off. So anyway, my laptop computer was on its last legs, and I was working away, and Beatrice, our youngest cat, was prowling around, trying to sit on the keyboard, trying to get my attention, trying to get on my lap, trying to do all these things. And I was really involved in what I was working on, and that's my excuse, and not paying a lot of attention. Anyway, finally, I just kept sort of pushing her away. And finally, she decided that she would just sit beside the laptop and gnaw on the screen, on the corner of the screen. And somewhere in my brain thought, oh, good, that will keep her busy. The worst she can do is scratch the, you know, casing. Little did I know, or little did I even think that her razor sharp pin-like teeth would actually pierce the screen, which they did. And yes, I was lucky that it wasn't worse and she wasn't actually hurt, but her teeth did pierce the screen. And before I realized what was going on, the screen went into waka 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 1960s sort of porn. Went all crazy like it had taken LSD, and there was all this pink and purple flashing and lines going everywhere. And I thought, holy shit, it's over. It's all over for the laptop. And so that was the end of the laptop computer. Fortunately, himself rode in on his cavalry horse and was able to back up all the work. There's a shitload of work on that laptop. He was able to back it up into some sort of magic box. And so everything was saved, but the laptop is definitely dead. And so long story short, I usually used to take the laptop out into the witchy cottage to record, and that didn't happen. And so I tried to do it with the camera and messed up with the mic, and oh God. So here I am in my studio, but I am here. I almost gave up, but I'm here because public accountability. I did put on Instagram that I was going to make a video today. And despite those voices that keep arcing up and back again saying you've got nothing to offer, you're not experienced enough in this realm, Who do you think you are? Yeah. Just never ends, does it? Despite all that, I thought, you know what, there are some beautiful people out there who I consider to be my friends, and I want to talk to them. And this is what my videos are all about with I Found the Fox. It's really is about sharing with friends and sharing where I'm at, not taking any, not presenting myself as any expert at all in any of this, with anything groundbreaking to share. The only thing I have to share is my experiences and where I'm up to, and that's what I thought I would share. Let me have a sip of my lovely French Earl Grey. Excuse me. Oh gosh, that's lovely. That is so beautiful. It's a special blend from, a specialty tea shop in Castlemaine. It's just so lovely, made in a pot and all that sort of jazz. And the other thing, of course, I've been pulling cards such as this a lot lately. Badger spirit, be fearless and bold. I keep, in terms of the tarot, I keep pulling swords, lots of swords. What's the one where she's bound up? Is that the Nine of Swords? I keep getting that all the time, which suggests to me, it's time to break the bonds and things like that. So I'm trying to take heed of the messages that are coming through, which I'm getting ahead of myself, but the messages that have been coming through to me via divination in the last probably 3 weeks have been jaw-dropping. It's hard to say, jaw-dropping. Like just extraordinary, so on point, the readings that I've been doing for myself every morning. So really what I wanted to talk, I've got a little book here that I carry in I have a set of these, a whole heap of these that I carry in my handbag. And this morning early, I went out for coffee and a scone and sat in the sunshine outside the cafe and wrote some notes here in my latest little notebook, which is only 1 page at the moment. And I wrote IFAF video and Hekate, and so some scribbles about, what I might sort of touch on with talking about Hekate and my experience so far. So that's some notes there that I've got, so I might refer to them. But what I really wanted to say was, if you watched my other video, and if you haven't, doesn't matter, I talked about the course that I'm doing with Hekate, and it is a book. I'll try to put a picture here. I haven't got the book near me. Hekate, I think it's She Who Holds the Keys, something like that. And it's a 13-month commitment where it's not a big deal. It's not hard by any means. But with each turn of the moon, you do a different set of exercises, and it's all in relation to building some sort of connection with Hekate. And that's what I've been doing. And I'm only into my 2nd month with it, but I do feel like it has been quite an extraordinary experience, and really, I think, just worth sharing with you guys. So I was listening to somebody on a podcast the other day talking about, she had interviewed somebody, and this was somebody who was a devotee of Hekate, but this really didn't have anything to do with what the interviewer said. But I was really intrigued by the interviewer felt that she needed to come in and clarify what her position was around personified deity. And I thought that was really interesting, that we feel the need to publicly say what we do and don't believe, that we're still in that space where we can feel that we have to convince others that we're not bonkers, or that that we're intelligent and we don't, we have a sound grip on all this sort of stuff. But whether personified deity is real, whether it is a figment of our imagination, whether it is part of our own subconscious coming up when we need it, whether it is an energy thought form that's been fed and grown over centuries of worship and reverence, whether it is simply what else could it be? An energy current that you tap into, you know, whether it's any of these things, it's all a mute question. Who's going to prove you right or wrong? And why do you have to, you know, why do we struggle so much with wanting to put forth our position on this all the time? And I often think, you know, if a Christian came to me, you know, a nice Christian, not someone that's trying to convert me, but, you know, someone who genuinely had strong faith, I wouldn't feel the need to question their sanity or their intelligence because they believed in God. I just wouldn't feel that way. And yet I got this feeling from this interview that the person doing the interviewing wasn't quite convinced in the whole goddess thing. So I thought that was quite patriarchal and weird. Anyway, I'm straying off course a little bit. So I come to you today to talk about Hekate and what's happened with me as whatever it is I'm doing, if I'm tapping into an energy current, if I am tapping into my own subconscious as I need it, if I am actually connecting with a real personified deity who exists on another plane, which is perfectly reasonable to me. Any of those things, whatever is going on, it is having an impact in my life and in my psyche and in my emotional life. And that's what I'm finding really interesting and exciting. Now, Hekate is the keeper of the keys. She is the guardian of the crossroads, she who lights the world, who carries the torch so that you can see your way forward. She is a dark goddess as well, who brings with her a lot of strength. And there's the cat. And so there is, with some people, they are a little bit afraid to tap into Hecatean energy because they feel that it might turn their lives upside down, or they might be required to do things that are frightening for them and that kind of stuff. But I think we all have our own we're all independent people and we can all make our call and our own choices here. So that has not really concerned me. What I've been drawn to, though, is that strength, and is knowing that it was time for me to tap into that sort of guidance, a bit of kick-ass guidance, you know, because I do feel, and that's what I put in my Instagram post, that, so I'm watching the cat. She's obsessed with this. I got this, see this, isn't it adorable? I got this in a kids magazine, and I was talking to my colleagues about, you know, how I get inspired to write children's stories, and I buy the kiddie magazines and see what's popular. And this was one of the giveaways with one of the magazines. It's a hair tie, and Beatrice absolutely loves it. There, look, take it, sweetie. Go play with the hair tie down there. Oh, all right. My hair's looking a bit weird today too. I put too much almond oil in it and it's gone straight. Anyway, God, I've forgotten what I was saying now. Oh yeah, I felt like I needed some kick-ass energy because I have been very much at the crossroads. I feel like I've been dilly-dallying and dithering at the crossroads for at least 5 years. And since I've been tapping into this Hecatean energy and doing these exercises in the book, I have the clarity that has come to me, along with the courage to put into place the things that have become apparent to me, so actually to run with them. That's what's been happening for me, and that's what's been so interesting. So I can't really talk about this without talking about my career, but I have known on some level for quite some time that it's a kind of at the place in my life, it's, you know, I'm 61, at that age where I felt like I needed to make a decision about whether or not I wanted to keep pursuing and stay within the career that I had chosen, which was to be a children's author. And, you know, I've just been, because part of me absolutely loves it, but there's unfulfilled and unsatisfied dreams that I feel compelled to also dance with. And I haven't been able to arrive at a place where I feel like I can do it all. It's become more and more increasingly an either-or situation. You know, it feels like I've been at a threshold, and I feel like Hekate has now given me a key to open a brand new door, and at the same time to close some doors. And that's what's been stumping me, and that's what I've been grappling with for a number of years, feeling lots of emotions, including guilt, you know, guilt that I have forged a career that's relatively successful, that has inspired a lot of people, that's helped a lot of people as well, garnered an audience, have passionate readers, and all this stuff. So feeling a little, you know, this sense of obligation to that, sense of obligation to my colleagues and my peers and my students who come to me to learn about creative writing, and at the same time, you know, grappling with this idea that my own passion for it has been starting to wane. Up and down, up and down, up and down. Moments of true passion and love, and moments of true despair, and this has been going on for years, like really full on for about a good 5 years, and not knowing what to do next and where I wanted to go. However, working with Hekate and doing some shadow work has brought me right back to the place where I can finally confront and admit that the calling that I had as a young person was never to be a writer. It was my calling was to acting. And acting has always been at the core of all of this, because acting is a light inside me that I dulled right down, but it's just when I'm around actors, when I'm in backstage in a theatre, when I'm talking to, you know, one of my books is with some film producers. When I meet with those people, I just light up. That's where I find the greatest joy and creativity and passion. And it is also the place that I've not been willing to go to. I've been absolutely terrified of that calling all my life. And so for me, writing was performance on the page. You know, writing has been a safe place to perform. It saves me from putting myself out there. It saves me from confronting all the fear that a call to acting brings up in you. All the I'm not good enough, I don't have the right look, I don't have eyebrows, you know, my hair's too curly, I'm boring to look at, you know, there's nothing that's going to blah, 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 you know, all those years. Also, I'm not, you know, you don't have the stamina to do it. What if you had to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to be on set? You know, just all the bullshit stories that you tell yourself that hold you back, when really, and this is what's working with Hekate has helped me realize, really the calling to acting is not about any of that. It's about giving it a go. It's simply about putting yourself in the place where you can give it a go. And that sounds so obvious, but it's been a revelation to me, you know. It's not about whether I would have a frock to wear when I stand beside Meryl Streep or whether I would, you know, trip on the stage when I try to do Streetcar, like all this bullshit stuff. No, it's not about that. It's actually about being in the room with people that care about this craft and want to explore it. That's all, you know, that's all. That's actually where the dream ends for me. And so the fears and the things that I've used to hold myself back have been completely and totally irrelevant. Right. So, you know, if you're tuning in here to talk about witchcraft, I'm really sorry, because this is not, is it? It's not really. But it is, because it's about, for me, witchcraft is always, you know, this whole few years has been about clarity and divination and, you know, communicating with spirit and getting guidance and getting clear on what it is that I want to do and what I want to achieve in this lifetime. And also being so much further along in my life, being in my 60s, you know I'm quite aware that I'm running out of time and I need to make some decisions and be courageous and follow some dreams before I sit back and start to be a wise woman. I'm not a wise woman yet, you know, I'm not a crone in my mind. It's not a label that I'm comfortable with yet. I love the idea of crone, and I love crone wisdom and love crone energy and tapping into it, but I don't see myself in that realm yet. I see myself very much as a queen. You know, I'm in the queen phase. I've achieved a lot, but there's still a lot to achieve, and there's a shitload to share. And you know, I have sort of a realm that I've built up around me, and I want to care for that realm and be involved in that realm, and actively. And so this is where I'm at in terms of, you know, the way forward. And so I know that, you know, that there is a winding up coming, and it will be done gently, and it will be done with great reverence for the people that are in my group. And I know a lot of you, you know, from the creative writing come over to I Found a Fox, and trust me, you know, all of Girl in Dark, that's my business, will keep ticking along for quite some time to come, but there will be changes, and quite dramatic changes within the next, you know, 18 months, because I am moving into a new phase, and I have finally decided that my career as a children's author is winding down, which isn't to say I won't ever write again. That's a whole different thing, but I'll write in that realm again. You know, I still have a great passion for children's literature, and I still enjoy writing in that area, but it's the career side of it that I really want to pull back on. I get so much joy now out of seeing others achieve their dreams in that realm. I am not wanting to achieve in that realm anymore. You know, I want to see others do it. I want to help them do it. And I get great joy out of that. But for myself, I feel like I've achieved what I wanted to achieve in that realm. And that now it's my turn to do, to be brave and take up the calling that I had as a little kid, running around in, you know, the next door neighbor's wedding dress. You know, I want to be in that dress up world and learn about acting with some depth. Even when I was at university, I studied Shakespeare text and performance, and I absolutely adored it. And yet at the end, when we had to do our semester, our big, you know, project for our exams and our semester culmination, rather than do a performance, which most of the people in the class did, I didn't do a performance. I took an excerpt from A Winter's Tale and I wrote it up as a screenplay. I converted it, I translated it, I did an adaptation of that into a screenplay. I got a high distinction for it, and again it was like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be a writer. I'm not supposed to be, you know, on there on the stage, even though, you know, that part of me would have loved to have been Hermione, you know, the statue in A Winter's Tale. If you know Shakespeare, it's a beautiful scene. That would have been really what I should have done. I'm really going fast. I know, but it's just so much has happened in the last you know, couple of months since I've tapped into this Hecatean journey, and it's just like yeah, so that's been going on for me. And I have been talking to an acting studio in Melbourne, and I'm planning to do an intensive beginning in February next year, 2023, to really throw myself into the lion's den and really, you know, have a crack at it with no goal except to do it. That's the only goal at this point. The only goal is to actually follow the calling, pick up a breadcrumb, put myself in the position where I am around other student actors and other people who are doing the same, you know, learning the same craft. That's all. You know, that's all I want from this at this point, is to know that I'm doing it and I'm pursuing the learning. So that is, you know, this is my Badger moment. This is my fearless and bold step. This is what feels fearless and bold for me, as who I am, as you know, an introvert who weirdly I think a lot of actors are introverts, actually, because it's you know, it's a chance to be somebody else. You're not that shy, quiet person for that moment. When you take on another role, you're somebody else and you get to explore that. So so that's what's been going on. So what else have I got to say about that? Not much at all, really. Just that I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that you're listening. I also want to say, you know, thank you so much to those of you who leave comments, and it feels like we're building up this really beautiful community. It gets stronger and stronger. I'm getting to know you guys more, and you talking to me over on Instagram is really cool as well. Oh, I did want to show you this. It's a new, oh, you can't see it. Can you see it? Look, it's all in reverse, isn't it? It's actually stand up. It's tourmaline. I just, oh God, it feels so prehistoric. I just love tourmaline, and so I did have a piece that I wore for a very long time, and I've still got that, but I just felt like I needed a new piece. There's a strength in tourmaline that I really feel the need to tap into, a strength and a sort of grounding that I feel is really beautiful. So I bought that this week and I'm very, very happy with it. And I've got my coat on because it's freezing. I also, those of you who love vintage would look at this. This is, it's, what does it say? Manufactured and styled in Italy by Lanissa, and that is Lanificio. I'll butcher that. Anyway, it's Italian and vintage, and it's as warm as toast, and I love it. So I'm happy with that too. All right, that's me, being me, talking to you. And now I'm definitely going to go and drag in this. I've got this really old chest of drawers out in the shed that I've been half painting, and it's half sanded, and it's never going to get, I'm just not going to finish it. And so I've decided to go rustic with it and just leave it as it is. And I'm going to haul that in this afternoon and set up a bigger altar in my bedroom so that I can have Hekate, Ellen of the Ways, and the Virgin Mary all together in one place, and I can see them all and you know, honor them all in that one place, all those beautiful energies that I have so loved working with, and it will continue to work with going forward. And that's what I'm going to do this afternoon. All right, I'm going to be coming, Beatrice. I'm going to say goodbye now and wish you all the very best and loads of love. Please feel free to leave a comment. I love reading your comments. It just makes the whole process more circular and more cyclical. You know, it feels more like a sacred sort of circle when you engage with me. That's a beautiful thing. So thank you if you do leave a comment or a like, or if you've even stuck to the end, like, that's really cool too. All right, loads of love, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye.